What's up, everybody? I am here at QuakeCon 2019. As you can see from the statue behind me, this is the year of Doom. I'm going to take a look around, see what's going on, and talk to some of the people behind this year's biggest Bethesda games. Hey everybody, I am here with Pete Hines. Pete, you've been doing this for a few years now, right?
Yeah, it's been a long time. QuakeCon is now in its 24th year.
Why do you think this is such an important event for Bethesda every year to come out here and interact with the fans?
I do shows all over the world. None of them have the same feeling of community and almost family that QuakeCon has. It is an event truly born of the fans. It started with a bunch of folks getting together to put together a LAN in a little hotel ballroom, and has grown into what we have today.
Obviously, Quake is not the only thing that happens at QuakeCon. What else is being shown off this year?
Well, this year, because it's the 25th anniversary of Doom, we've got a whole section of QuakeCon dedicated to Doom that we call DoomCon. And DoomCon is really just sort of every day, all the things we're doing to celebrate what the game has become and what the series has become and the fans who have made it possible.
Why do you think Doom especially has resonated so much with fans?
It's the ultimate power fantasy. You get to be this badass demon slayer that unleashes something in you that is unlike anything in any other video game. And it's a franchise, quite honestly, that has always innovated and tried to push the boundaries. I think that's part of why folks are so excited about Doom Eternal.
All right, I am here now with Hugo and Marty. We are talking Doom Eternal. So on the surface, I think people know Doom as a game that's not about subtlety. It's run and gun, it's fast, it's violent, but there is a lot more to it. The lore is very deep. So for new fans and for longtime fans alike, what new things can we expect to see?
It's new from the ground up. I mean, anything that was brought kind of ahead from Doom 2016 has been completely updated. World's bigger, much more epic visuals, tons more demons, and really a much tighter, I would say, tighter gameplay loop across the board.
Where are we? What's going on with the Doom Slayer?
There's a catastrophe going on Earth of biblical proportions, and it involves heaven and hell and prophecies and all these different things, and the Doom Slayer just takes a shotgun to all of it, which is great.
From beginning to end, it is a non-stop just accelerator pad of action and visual spectacle. You see things at the end of the game that you can't even believe, and it's just a constant ride. It's really fun.
It sounds like Doom to me. That's awesome. So with a new multiplayer mode in the game called Battle Mode, you don't get to just slay demons. You can play as demons.
You got to have one Slayer versus demons. That's kind of the fundamental DNA of Doom. And then balancing out the number of demons just worked really well with the arena sizes we wanted and the ability to spawn AI.
In this mode, you can overcome somebody's superior twitch skills with teamwork and strategy, which is really compelling. And there's plenty of strategy on the Slayer side too, so it keeps going back and forth.
You have great reward when you finish a fight, but even in the middle of a fight, hitting a weak spot on a demon, not even yet taking him out, is just super rewarding.
Awesome. A multiplayer experience that feels uniquely Doom. I love it. All right, guys, when can people get their hands on Doom Eternal?
November 22nd is when the game launches. We have a fantastic demo right here at QuakeCon. Great feedback from fans. I think they're really loving it. But pre-order it now and get it November 22nd.
Now, 2019 may be the year of Doom, but that's not the only game being shown off here at QuakeCon. We are here now to talk about the Elder Scrolls Online. I'm here with Matt. So let's talk about Elsewhere a little bit. So whether you are already playing sort of MMO-style games, or whether you've played Elder Scrolls before and you want to sort of jump into that world, this is a good place to head.
Absolutely, because the way our level scaling works in the game, which is a technical thing, but basically it means you don't have to worry about what level other people are. The world scales itself to you, which means you can join any time and you're not behind.
What kind of things, I mean, we're headed to the home of the Khajiit. What adventures does that bring with it?
Yeah, so Elsewhere, which launched just a couple weeks ago, is really the linchpin of the Season of the Dragon, which is this year-long story we have over 4 updates, and Elsewhere is the biggest one, and it just launched. So it's the homeland of the Khajiit, so you can see it the first time in an Elder Scrolls game since 1994. But there's also dragons. There's a dragon invasion of Elsewhere. You, as the player, need to figure out, how to fend off the dragon menace from the province.
And so you're actually also getting a new class that you get to play in Elsewhere as well, right?
Well, yes, the Necromancer, which is the #1 most requested class since the game launched. In the Elder Scrolls universe, necromancy is not tolerated. So we tied the Necromancer class into our existing outlaw system, where if you steal things or murder people, the guards in cities get real mad at you. So if you do necromantic spells or abilities inside of a city and townspeople see it or the guards see it, they will come after you.
Elsewhere is the second expansion that's part of Season of the Dragon, but there's a lot more to come, right?
Yeah, so it's a year-long story. It's the first time we've done this. We've done updates regularly for ESO over the years, but this is the first time we tied together a year-long story over a dungeon DLC in January, Elsewhere which just launched, and then another dungeon DLC which is coming in a few weeks, and then we end with a story DLC in the 4th quarter. So, but it's the same story all the way through, with Elsewhere being the biggest beat. But Scalebreaker, which is coming up, is a dungeon, but dragons are the big bosses in the dungeon, so you get to learn a lot about dragon lore, why they're in Elsewhere, kind of some personality behind them. And then the story itself wraps up in the 4th quarter with Dragonhold, which is the story DLC that's coming then.
Hey, I am here with Erik, and we are talking Wolfenstein Youngblood, just released. I had a chance to play it. Really fun, very challenging, actually. Tell us, where does the game take place? Who are we playing as? Catch everybody up on the story here.
All right, the game takes place in Paris. It's set in the 1980s, and this time you play as one of B.J. Blazkowicz's twin daughters.
So it's Jess and Soph, and the game is built to be played as a co-op experience, whether you're playing on your own or with a friend.
We wanted to try to get the second player into the game, into the combat that we have iterated upon for so many years. It's a drop-in, drop-out co-op. We have these revive systems, so if you go down, your sister can come and revive you.
Yeah, it's interesting as you play the game, you really feel that second player in there with you. You become a team. So now, let's talk about the setting. You're in the 1980s in Paris.
It actually came from the decision to go co-op, just because we had established in the New Colossus that BJ and I never going to have twin daughters, and it just made perfect sense to use them. And then we also allowed the players to still play as a Blazkowicz, which is a great thing, of course. And we wanted them to be in that age, that transition between adolescence and adulthood. We wanted to tell a story about growing up and take responsibility. In the New Colossus, we told this very dark story, about BJ's childhood as well, while the story in Youngblood is so much lighter, not only in content but also in tone. And then, of course, we focused a lot on the different personalities between the sisters as well to separate them a little bit.
You've got different suits and helmets and weapons, a lot of things that are new for the Wolfenstein series.
It's quite a lot of new things, and we understand that we have taken some risks here as well, because it's quite a different experience than the previous games. Some of the key things are the more open-ended structure that we have in the game. Customization that you mentioned is one thing. In general, to have a more player-directed structure, which we thought would benefit co-op, and we think it will.
I'd like to thank all our friends at id Software and Bethesda for inviting us to QuakeCon this year. And hey, if you want to check out any of the games we talked about, make sure you go to your local GameStop store or check out GameStop.com.